Hi guys, so we're in Verona in Italy and we're going to show you some of the sites. And so if you want to find out what you can do, where you can go, let's go and check it out.
Verona feels like a love letter written in stone, but the letter is longer than it first appears. It begins in the great piazzas where history does not sit behind glass or rope, but lives openly in the warm light. In Piazza Bra, among elegant facades and slow movement of daily life, the city breathes with an ease that makes even grandeur feel intimate. Cafés spill gently into the square, footsteps mingle with distant conversation, and above it all, the ancient arena stands with quiet authority, a reminder that Verona has always known how to turn life into spectacle, memory, and art. Beyond the squares, the city reveals its older soul. The Roman theatre rising above the riverbank seems less like a ruin than a surviving gesture from another civilization, still shaped by beauty, sound and ritual. Its worn stone steps hold the impression of countless evenings of audiences gathered beneath the open sky, of voices lifted into twilight. There is something moving in the way Verona preserves these remnants of the past, not as relics emptied of feeling, but as a place where time still gathers, where the present seems willing to sit beside antiquity in reverent silence. From there, Verona draws you inward through streets that feel composed rather than built, narrow and graceful, lined with shuttered windows, weathered walls and balconies draped in flowers. Every lane invites wandering. Light slips softly between buildings, touching old brick and pale stone, and the city seems to unfold with the deliberate pacing of a story told well. It is in these passages that Verona's romance becomes most persuasive, not in any single monument, but in the atmosphere itself, in the hush of hidden courtyards, the murmur of fountains, the sudden glimpse of an archway opening onto another small square. And then there is Juliet's balcony, one of the most famous emblems of longing in the world. Whatever one believes about the legend, the place possesses an undeniable emotional gravity. It appears not merely as a historical site, but as an idea made visible, suspended above the courtyard like a fragile promise. Beneath it, visitors gather with hope, irony, tenderness, curiosity, each bringing their own understanding of love. The walls, marked by years of devotion and desire, seem to have absorbed generations of letters, confessions, and impossible wishes. In Verona, romance is not present as simple happiness, but as yearning, memory, and faith in what the heart imagines, even when reality resists. Yet the city is not only tender, it also knows how to be strong, watchful and severe. Castle Vecchio rises in red brick with a beauty that is more guarded than graceful, a monument to Verona's martial past and enduring resilience. Its towers and walls cast long shadows, and within that severity lies another kind of poetry, the poetry of endurance, of a city shaped not only by lovers and poets, but by rulers, wars, and centuries of political ambition. Beside it, the medieval bridge reaches across the Adige with noble calm, each arch mirrored in the river below. It feels less like a crossing than a bond, joining one age of Verona to another in a single unbroken line. The Adige itself gives the city much of its magic. It curves around Verona with a protective, almost theatrical grace, reflecting churches, palaces and bridges in shifting colours that change with the hour. In the bright clarity of day, the water gives the city freshness and movement. At dusk, it becomes something more dreamlike. Silver, rose, and deepening blue ripple across its surface, while the buildings along its banks soften into silhouette. In that evening light, Verona seems suspended between worlds, between Roman and medieval, between legend and daily life, between the visible city and the one imagined by poets. What makes Verona so unforgettable is the union of opposites. It is both monumental and intimate, theatrical and sincere, steeped in history yet alive with ordinary pleasures. It is a city where the past is not distant but tenderly present in stone staircases, church bells, river reflections, and the cadence of footsteps on the old streets. Love here is not reduced to a single story, even one as famous as Romeo and Juliet. Instead, it appears everywhere, in the elegance of the architecture, in the patience of the river, in the warmth of the squares at sunset, and in the way the city invites you to linger just a little longer than you intended. By the time evening settles fully over Verona, the city seems to exhale. The walls glow softly, windows brighten, and the last light gathers along the bridges and rooftops like a blessing. Then Verona becomes what it has always promised to be, not simply a destination, but a mood, a memory, a place where beauty and longing remain inseparable. In that hour, with the DJ turning dimly luminous below and the old stones holding the warmth of the day, Verona feels less like a city one visits than like a story one briefly enters, carrying its romance with you long after you have gone.